What's going on, guys? Hopefully you're all doing well. It's Adrian from over here at Pipe Dream Hookah, and today I have another one of the Fakher series reviews for you guys. This one's going to be episode number 6. I'm sure those of you who are veterans to this series are going, what the hell, Adrian? These are only supposed to happen every other week. It's supposed to be every other Monday. And I know, but if you watch the one on Fakher Fresh, link in the description for anyone interested, you will have found out that I had some problems with my editing equipment. My CPU fried. So I had to do some legwork to catch up a little bit, so I'm doing kind of a double feature type deal. So you're getting 2 over the course of like a 6-day period. For those of you who are either Fakher enthusiasts or people who hope to possibly someday be Fakher enthusiasts, you're welcome. For those of you who don't care about Fakher, I sincerely apologize, but this is happening whether you want it to or not. Today's Fakher review is going to be on just straight up Fakher Mint. Fakher actually has a lot of mint flavors, whether they're mixing their orange with mint or their double apple with mint, grape mint, whatever, and they even have stuff like gum with mint and mint with cream. They're just kind of different variations on what's basically the same thing, just with a twist. But this is going to be on the original Fakher Mint. Now, before we get into the actual review part of this, I'm just going to go ahead and give you a rundown of my setup. It's going to be the Thunder Slim Hose in this beautiful gold color. I will be using my, what is this? This is the Starbuzz Atlantis 1.0, the short version with the matching blue bell base on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see it in my viewfinder, so I'm assuming you guys can't see it either. And then on top, I've just got a regular old Tangier small bowl, and I will not be doing a packing tutorial for you because for any of you that is actually familiar with this series, you know that I don't actually take the time to do the packing methods. I've already pre-recorded the packing method for both the Phunnel bowl and the Egyptian red clay bowl. The link to the Phunnel bowl will be in the description as well, and I do have 3 cubettes on top of the bowl. Now, before we get into everyone's favorite stuff like clouds and flavor or mixability and all that junk, let's go ahead and first open this up and take a whiff to see what it smells like. Okay, so for any of you guys who actually knows what a mint leaf smells like, that's actually what I'm getting from the scent of this tobacco. It's not going to come across like what tobaccos typically smell like nowadays, where it's going to be like a peppermint or some type of a spearmint, or it's got kind of a gimmick. This is just going to be a natural mint leaf, and this is going to be one of the only tobaccos I've actually smelled up to this date that actually smells like a natural mint leaf. Now, I haven't smoked every tobacco in the world, so I'm sure some of you will have some recommendations for an actual mint leaf flavored tobacco, but this is one of my favorites so far, spoiler alert. But yeah, what you're gonna get is this really nice mint scent, really nothing to add to that. It's got some earthy tones to it, but that's to be expected with kind of a more natural flavor like the mint is. Now, up next we have everybody's favorite thing. Let's go ahead and check out the cloud content. Okay, so these clouds are going to be exactly what you can normally expect from any of the regular line Fakher stuff. They're going to be nice, large, fluffy, dense clouds. They're not going to be among the biggest clouds you can actually get out of a session from a lot of these modern tobaccos, whether it be your trifecta dark leaf or your haze or maybe even your ugly tobacco. All of those tobaccos tend to produce clouds that are just a little bit bigger, but for the price point and the type of tobacco you're actually buying, which is going to be just a typical French flue-cured tobacco, I believe. I haven't done a lot of reading on Fakher's tobacco. Maybe that's something I should do. More information coming up in the next Fakher series review. But yeah, the clouds are going to be exactly what you should expect, which are what you just saw. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, it's time to move on to the most important thing when you're critically analyzing any shisha tobacco, and that's going to be the flavor profile. Now, if you're new to the channel, you don't know yet that I typically do both the inhale and the exhale of a flavor profile, because I do find that they tend to differ just a little bit, and we like to begin with the inhale. Okay, so in addition to that really nice natural mint flavor we got, well, I guess it would be that natural mint scent that we got when we opened up and smelled the tobacco, you're also going to get this really nice sweet flavor on the tip of your tongue when you take that first inhale, and pretty much as you go on through the session, it's going to continue to taste exactly like that. You are going to get that natural mint. It is going to be the main flavor in the actual smoke, but I find mint to be more of a feeling than it is a flavor. So where with peppermint, you get kind of that peppermint candy flavor, or spearmint tends to taste a lot like the typical spearmint gums. This just comes across as a really nice, natural, sweet mint. There's really not a whole lot more to say than that. It does come across as a little bit more earthy than your typical mint flavor will. So that's something to keep in mind, but it's not by any means earthy in the way a dark leaf tobacco can be earthy and have some of those tobacco notes. It's just more grounded, a little less bubblegummy and sweet like some of your more popular flavors like Starbucks Blue Mist or anything like that might be. But with that in mind, let's go ahead and move on to the exhale. Okay, so on the exhale, what really happens is a lot of that sweetness that you get on the initial inhale comes down. That mint stays pretty strong, and a lot of those earthy kind of base notes just come to the forefront when you're exhaling. It's not overbearing, it's actually a pretty light smoke, but that's the variation that you're going to see between the flavor profile on the inhale and the exhale. Now typically at the end of these reviews, I like to do a 10-point rating, off of the 10 scale between 1 and 10, but before I do that, I want to go over two more things, and that's going to be firstly, how does this tobacco take heat? And like any other Fakher that I've smoked so far in the base Fakher line, which is the packages like these ones that you see here, it's going to take heat fairly well. It can be a little bit heat sensitive. The only reason I've gotten away with 3 cuvettes up on this bowl is because if you look at the packing method that I did, it's a normal underpack, and I'm using 1 layer of HD foil, and the coals aren't completely on the bowl. They are hanging off just ever so slightly off of the edge. So the heat actually isn't that high. If I were to put the coals all the way on, the bowl would probably start to burn this early in the session. So as far as how it takes heat, if you're familiar with Fakher, it's going to take heat like most of the Fakher baseline stuff is going to. Now, as far as how long is it going to take that heat for, in a small bowl like this, like the Tangier Small, I'm only expecting to get 1 round of coals, maybe a 45-minute session to an hour, and that's all you really need with this much tobacco in this type of bowl. If you're going to go with a bigger bowl, like something way bigger, like a Wide Gauge Harmony by Hookah John, or like a Apache by Alpaca, the large version of that, you can probably expect to get 2 rounds of coals with the same pack, just because there's going to be more tobacco, more surface area, so you're actually able to put a little bit more heat on as well. Now, as far as mixability, this stuff gets a 10 out of 10 just on mixability. Now, that's not the final score, that's the 10 out of 10 just for mixability, if that makes any sense. It is a mint flavor, it's a true mint flavor, and you can mix it with basically anything from all of Fakher's different flavors, and you can cross-brand mix it with almost anything. So I've mixed this with some dark leaves even. Like you can mix this mint with KFC's Moonshine Mint and get kind of this double mint thing going on. It's a really good mix. You just have to be careful how you pack it. And I'm really not going to suggest anything past that because I don't think you can actually go wrong unless you don't like mints. In which case you can probably stop watching this review right now because this is on a mint flavor. With all of that in mind, like I said, I'm going to rate this on the 10 scale. But I'm making a little change to my 10 scale system. For those of you who have been watching my Fakher reviews, I tend to rate them at the end, and I've noticed I gravitate towards 7s a lot, and I think that's really bad because 7s are kind of like you could take it or leave it, and I find myself gravitating towards there when I really don't know whether to say thumbs up or thumbs down, and I think that's a problem. So from this point on, when I'm reviewing any tobacco, I don't know if I'm gonna do it for all hookah products in general, but when I'm reviewing any tobacco, I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that I rate it at a 6, but not a 6.5, not a 7, not a 7.5, or an 8. So we're skipping 7, 6.5, and 7.5. With that in mind, I'm gonna go ahead and rate this tobacco at a solid 8 out of 10. And why does it get an 8 out of 10 rating? Well, it's the only thing I could justify. It performs just as well as any other Fakher flavor, and it is one of the only really good natural mints that I've had that aren't like gimmicky like a peppermint or anything. Now, as my camera is dying, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up in a bit of a rush. So thank you guys so much for watching as always. And if you wanna pick any of this stuff up, well, I guess this stuff right here up, there's going to be a link down in the description. And thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, happy smoking.